Or not, though 90% of CEOs in the banking industry say they expect AI to change their business, a new survey finds that technology alone cannot meet customer service expectations and that consumers still want human interaction. Joining us to discuss this is Bhushan Sethi. He is PwC Global Workforce Capability Leader. And first of all, what is Global Workforce Capability Leader? What does that actually mean?
It means in my day job, I help clients, especially banks, on how they think about their workforce, how they think about digitization of their business, but what that means to their people, what skills they need, how they bring them along, how they reskill them, how do they drive out the right productivity.
What kind of balance are you seeing from those people that you're dealing with, from the rush to AI versus human interaction? In other words, are you having to sort of pull them back from AI, or are they coming to you and saying, we still want people to be involved?
Yeah. It's definite that there's been a lot of hype and expectation, both on the robotics, which is more about automating routine tasks, as well as AI to augment jobs. What we're seeing is there's a huge growth opportunity. Our research says 15.7 trillion by 2030 in terms of GDP increase. We'll only get there if you actually bring people along in the right way. So one, manage the fear and anxiety. One, reskill people in the right way. That reskilling may be for you as an institution or for the local community, and also focus on their well-being and the mindset.
Well, when you talk about that reskilling, I mean, in banking, I assume that the traditional teller, that role obviously is going to evolve into something else, or maybe I'm wrong. Is that what you're talking about?
That's part of it. I think it's about augmentation. So we've seen the role of the teller has augmented to be more of a concierge around different services that the bank can provide, both online and offline, and the store experience, and we're focusing on that in a heavy way. So what that means is people actually in those roles need to have different empathy, different relationship building skills. They still need the product and the business knowledge and the business acumen, but we're seeing now the melding of the soft skills and the technical skills and the new digital skills of how to use data and analytics, all fusing into what the future workforce needs.
So besides the teller, where else in banking does this go? Because I saw a report the other day that, I think it's JP Morgan is spending $11 billion, which is up 5% from last year. Bank of America, 10, Wells Fargo, 9. So, everybody's between 8 and 10, 11 billion this year on spending. And I've seen disruptive technology, I've seen user habits, but how specifically is that implemented in a bank's day to day?
So the first thing institutions need to do is start actually running scenarios around their future business to say, where are our segments? Where are we going to focus long? Where are we going to focus on consumers or investment banking? How are we going to be impacted by a change in, say, the business cycle? And then translate it to say, what skills and capabilities do I need? So for some, it might be they need to double down on PR and marketing. For some, it may be that they're automating more of the back office roles and having to reskill people into more client-facing roles. So it's going to be different for a different institution, different for global, different for regional banks. If we see more regional bank consolidation in the US, there's different workforce considerations there as you pull two organizations together. So the key thing is running scenarios and understanding different institutions will have different starting points in terms of size, scale, technology, ways of working, and some of the legacy technology that they've invested in.
We just heard Akiko talking about education. Reskilling is obviously another word for that. All of the enormous spending that we're seeing happen on the technology piece of it, how much spending are you seeing happening on the reskilling and education part of it? And what does that education look like?
Yeah. So reskilling is definitely part of working towards the future, focusing on those soft skills, focusing on lifelong learning. There's an insatiable demand in organizations for people to learn. We ran a consumer research survey that said people are willing to invest up to 15 hours per month in terms of their own reskilling, and that goes across any demographics in the organization. We're seeing a lot of focus on it, but it also needs to be combined with the right well-being, because people need to be less fearful around their job for them to learn. People need to have the right work environment and the right user experience and the right tools if we want to actually drive up the productivity and drive the outcomes that any institution is looking for.
All right, Bhushan Sethi from PwC, Global Workforce Capability Leader. It's a mouthful for me to say.
But now we know what it is.
We know what it means, and we are grateful you were here on The Move.
Thank you.